Hello everyone, we are Group 18 and our group have 5 members. 一风秋, Qiyuan Xingzu Chengyu Wu, and Anzheng Yu. Today our group will presentation strategy to all multinational corporations used to manage the challenge of the global business environment. This is our group outline. Then I will introduce the oil industry. Firstly, multinational oil company main player. The 9 companies as shown on the screen are the world-leading oil company. Then there are two different types of the oil company: national oil company and international national oil company. As you can see, I list the national company on the left of the screen, and the 6 typical international oil company like BP on the right. In past, the international oil company was dominant player in the international oil trader. In recent years, the national oil company has surpassed those established oil companies in terms of the oil production. This is inseparable from the government support behind the national oil company. Next, we talk about the second insurance, the government influence on the oil industry. It is an industry heavily influenced by the government. The government influence is revealed 2 points: supply and demanding. Term of supply, that is extraction and acquisition for oil. Government policies have holding impact. The oil resource is finding and located in area controlled by the country. If a company wishes to develop this resource, it can only do with the company permission. In addition, strict environmental protection policies also increase difficulty of oil company exploitation. In terms of the demanding, government influence is also advanced. For example, encourage the use of clean energy. The third is about which national markets are growing fast. In past 10 years, although government and companies have continued to study new energy, oil is still the most potent energy for most part of the world. The high demand for oil from the growing emerging countries. From BP 2020 Global Energy Resource Report, we can see the top 3 countries in terms of the oil usage growing in past decade are Vietnam, Peru, Bangladesh. The fourth is the oil industry market share in 2020. First is Sino-Pet China, second is PetroChina, third is Royal Dutch Shell. National oil companies occupy a major share in the world oil market. Oil company is a capital-intensive industry because they need to invest a lot of money to export technology, and the oil company must purchase the equipment needed to obtain refined natural resources. In shortly, oil industry is a capital-intensive industry and significantly influenced by the government. Next, my team member will introduce key features.
Hello, I'm Qiyuan Liu. In my presentation today, I would like to talk about the key feature of the oil industry and the challenges it faced. The main feature of the oil industry, firstly, it is a capital and technology-intensive industry, and its enterprise are mainly large multinational companies. It is also a mix of private and state-owned enterprises. Many of them are wholly or partly state-owned. Next, for the global industry, it is also face many challenges. First, the challenge of price fluctuation. The biggest challenge multinational companies face in the global oil industry is the instability of price, which are caused by the development of the global economy. Times of political and economic turmoil have reduced demand for oil and other natural resources. Low prices, for example, do not allow oil companies to make the most money from available resources. Second, the energy challenge. Oil is no renewable resource, so the long-term challenge for companies in the industry is to find new resources of supply. The third, volatile markets or political risk. Oil companies, especially private ones, face growing political risk. Political risk refers to the possibility that change in political stability or change in a country laws, regulations, and investment framework may impair investment returns. Today's oil and gas companies have grown substantially due to the scarcity of resources. Oil and gas companies have established responsible organizations with strong centralist function in order to obtain hard-to-find resources. The dwindling reserves have forced oil and gas companies to operate in hostile environments and even in remote areas. Moreover, operation risk, corporate social responsibility, this design relates to several stakeholders groups. Healthy and safety issues. Safety issues include employee rights, human rights, stakeholder rights, environmental protection. Fourth, oil is a very sensitive sector to the overall health of the global economy. For example, the harm to domestic industry. Transnational corporations pose a threat to other domestic-related industry due to their huge economic strength. Domestic industry cannot face the challenge of multinational corporations. That's it. Thank you.
My presentation. My partner say the company challenging and I say company strategy. The first one I will say competitive strategy. This strategy give a company an advantage over its competitor in attention customers and defending against the competitive advantage. The most balanced strategies adapted in the category is to provide customers with goods. They will think that a good have a higher value and a lower price, and the buyers think they are attentive. The purpose of this is establish sustainable position against the focus that determine in competition. And the second, I will say the cost leadership strategy. Companies enjoy profit when they product at the lowest cost. This help in gaining a cost advantage. This is significant in the market. The aftermath of this is growth in the market share of the company. Standard product that are MNC products, and they are different from the competitor who may have a customer group that's a broader. The building of companies is a cost. Training of global and developed, and the general maintenance lies under cost. Therefore, cost advantage is a focus that is highly considered by MNCs. And the next one, I will say cost-focused strategy. The advantage of low costs in some section of the segment of the market which offers bicycle service to a higher price market leader is also a considered strategy in the world. The result effect is similar products and products that are higher price that are also by a number of customers in the market. A focused strategy that balanced on low cost secure a competitive advantage by serving buyer in the tiger at price that are lower than the reverse. Different focus strategies different within one or a number of tech market segment. And the last one I will say on the transnational strategy. This is adapted by companies in seeking to get a middle group between a domestic strategy and a global one. It tries to balance the desirable effect with the need to have products that have a local prefers within a number of countries succeeded. This can be seen in the KFC and the McDonald's. This strategy also helped making the companies balance the different operations in the countries of operation. For instance, the cost of labor, which can result in the increase in price effect in reduction to the cost of production inside nations. And this is my reference. Thank you.
Thank you. Now I'm going to use my part in this solution. First one is the energy challenges. It means finding new sources to supply and demand. Since oil is a renewable energy source, it is an inevitable trend to increase alternatives, increase crisis buffer mechanism, and expand supply and demand channels. In addition to the usual search for more oil suppliers, of course, the world's oil supply channels are now almost saturated. So the most important thing is the transformation of the company from pure petroleum fuel supply to electricity or oil-electric hybrid enterprises. This will be more beneficial to the development of the company and promote environmental protection. The second one is volatile markets. In this volatile world of oil market, the oil trade is firmly controlled by the big countries, and the oil exporters are obvious. So in fact, actually, no matter what the trade market is to enhance the influence of the enterprise and the brand power is an excellent choice. Improve the influence of the brand and the market, no matter how unstable, will not level of enterprises. And the third one is sector very sensitive to wider state of the global economy. Provides higher quality oil and improve the quality of service. At the same time, large trans-regional and transnational enterprises should closely integrate their own companies with the local market. Thus, the worldwide market economic turbulence will also provide vitality for enterprises due to the dependence of the local region. Okay, next page. And the first one is, in the face of the increasing political and operational risks, the company's first priority is to thoroughly analyze the specific risks it faces and to have a crisis response strategy in advance. At the same time, we should also set long-term goals and build sustainable relationships with other oil and gas companies to meet challenges together. And the fifth one is rapidly evolving technology. Over the past year, big oil and many companies in the upstream and downstream segments have started to adopt a growing numbers of digital solutions to see cost cuts through innovation and new technologies. Innovation is always the primary productivity. Technical upgrading and equipment updating through innovation can greatly improve the work efficiency and quality of enterprises, and correspondingly improve the competitiveness of enterprises in the global market. And the last one is the poor industry image. We should ask why enterprises have a poor industry image. We first need to figure out whether the root of the problem is emotional or logical. If it is emotional, the company should build such an image to attract consumers. I think it is. And if it is a logical image, then the enterprise must be make some link to the product to produce a problem. If it is necessary to sort out the internal and the external contradictions of the enterprise, gradually improve the competitiveness of the enterprise and re-establish a good corporate image. And that's my part.
To my part, how strategies help to manage the business environment. The first part is cost cutting, a diet for the overweight. The cost cutting required to address falling revenues has come as a shock to an industry that over the years had grown fat and happy on high prices. The good times resulted in multiple years of cost inflation, with expenditure per barrel rising between 5 and 15% each year since 2009, depending on the service and the geography. Offshore fields in particular saw costs rise significantly, resulting in high break-even levels. In the North Sea, for example, the cost of extracting a barrel of oil equivalent more than doubled, from just over 8 a barrel in 2010 to around 16 a barrel just 3 years later. On the plus side, all that fly offers plenty of opportunities to slim down and optimize costs. Operators are now rediscovering the spirit of efficiency. For example, independent operators in U.S. onshore have been able to raise production per well while lowering cost per barrel by using improved horizontal drilling techniques and longer wells. The second part is vertical integration, one-stop shop. Collaboration is a particularly efficient way to lower costs and simplify contractors' management. Combining equipment, software and engineering, or other combinations of service offerings can unlock significant value for customers. Many services and equipment purchases currently are outsourced to a variety of providers, which results in complexity and a fragmented supplier base. Multiple OFSE companies are now bringing these services in-house, with integrated offerings reducing coordination costs. This can lead to savings up to 30%. While companies are developing integrated offers in-house, many also are partnering or merging with others to provide a wider range of services. The third part is new revenue models, sharing finance risks for future rewards. New revenue models have emerged across the OFSE sector, including performance-based contracts that combine equipment and services, and participation in project financing. In this way, OFSE companies are able to give operators more flexibility by reducing their cost base and the need for investment in difficult times. This loads more capital expense on shoulders of OFSE providers, but it also can create a more sustainable income flow. This model, however, requires sophisticated financial modeling and intense cooperation, sometimes more than companies can achieve. The last part is consolidation, increasing concentration. M&A activities in the OFSE industry can be characterized as the consolidation of similar types of businesses, as well as integration along the full life cycle. Many companies today are a fraction of their former scale. They would benefit from savings in costs provided by a merger with a direct peer. And this is the references. Then that's all. Thank you for your listening.